Welcome to Cymatic Sociology. I am your Cychadelic Cychopomp, Chase Clarence Calloway, aka Tahuti Hermes Trismegistus, and in today's episode of Cymatic Sociology, we are seeing if Kanye West is anti-Semantic. Now, I'm saying semantic because the racist religions that police these algorithms, the penis police that use their AI to control how we communicate, they don't like me using the words that they tell us to use. Because the moment they have us use the words that they tell us to use, they get to watch us further and police us further. So that's why people aren't really allowed to say the V word for shot anymore. Even though we're all being forced, we're all told that we need to get these injections, we're not allowed to talk about them. So this is the same thing with the religions that are policing Kanye West, and not just Kanye West, but policing all indigenous peoples. These racist religions have only been able to make as much money as they have off of slavery, genocide, and horrific warfare because they've actively used lies and gaslighting tactics to steal all the land from North, South, and Central America. So just know that all of the land in North, South, and Central America, every country that exists in North, South, and Central America today was created by the racist religions that are policing Kanye, stealing land from indigenous peoples, and then cutting us out of our own homes because their God says that they can own us. Their God says that they can use money to manipulate us. They can use money to manipulate our minds. And now they can trap us in a matrix that they stole from Metatron. Because when you objectively look at the racist religions that are erasing indigenous peoples, they worship Enoch, they worship Metatron, and then this is where we have to look at Abraham's covenant, because it's all tied to Abraham's covenant. So we'll get there. But the point of me doing this episode is to give a historical perspective on why Kanye is saying what he's saying. Because the whole way that these racist religions function is by erasing history. So that's racism. So the same exact racist religions that use horrible rape and horrible warfare, horrible tactics to steal this land from indigenous peoples, they force us to identify as black because that's how their racist religions can erase our culture and erase our connection to our own home. So now the moment you as an indigenous person, me as an indigenous person, if these racist religions can use English and Latin and all their illegal legality, all their illegal legal systems, right? Their legal systems constantly do shit illegally. The KKK constantly do shit illegally. The banking system could not legally buy any of the land from anyone in North, South, and Central America. So the religions that own the banking system had to steal the land, they rape us, and they lie about it because this is how they maintain the system. And then they say that we're not allowed to talk about it. So my entire life has been me getting suppressed and silenced by these same exact religions and the same exact system because I'm talking about what they do. And I'm talking about how they use racism to steal land from indigenous peoples that they're erasing with all their own whitewashing stories. So this is why when we look at the superheroes in Marvel, they're all Ewish, they're all Whoish, because the whole point is that the Ews, the Whos, have stolen all the ideas that they're colonizing from indigenous peoples and they're whitewashing them so that they can be seen as the children of God that they're cannibalizing. And that's the whole point of them practicing witchcraft on Christians and saying you should eat the flesh of Christ and drink the blood of Christ for salvation. So now all the white people who are running away from their old world, again, this is all historic, basic historic knowledge. All the white people who are running away from their old world, they worship the idea of cannibalizing and eating the flesh of and drinking the blood of people who fast to talk to God. So when they come into the new world and they see that there's hundreds upon hundreds of millions of indigenous peoples who all fast to talk to God, these racist religions, these Europeans that don't want us to name them, but they have the power to cut us out of our accounts, they use their banking power, they use their legal system, and they use their religions to cannibalize all the indigenous individuals, all the indigenous cultures that they're cutting out of their own land. And then they're going to say that we're the problem. So they use racism, they use warfare, and they use gaslighting lies to steal everything from us. Steal our land, steal our time, steal our families, steal our bodies, steal our culture, steal our resources, steal our everything, steal our minds, steal our souls, right? Kanye West, all these celebrities, they sell their soul. AKA not their actual water body of emotion, but they sell how they spend time connecting with the environment. And this is how money manipulates all of our minds. This is how Masons are using money to manipulate all of us. The only reason I can speak English is because my ancestors were manipulated by Masons who use money to steal our land, objectively. But then these same religions are saying I'm not allowed to talk about how they stole my land with money because that's wrong. Meanwhile, they're the ones teaching me that I'm black and I'm not even supposed to identify racially as a color. So the only reason black people identify as black is because the racist religions that have created whiteness to whitewash our culture are cannibalizing us and telling us that we can't talk about it. Objectively. So this is an important episode for Cymatic sociology, because the whole point of Cymatic sociology as a series is for us to reflect upon how humans have been socializing so that we can create the circumstance that allows us to connect right now. So this is where Cymatic sociology is all about the social history of the past, basically, because everything's social. So if you don't understand that your language that you're speaking was created by individuals who are working together to accomplish an agenda, then you're lost. You're objectively a sheep. If you don't understand that the government, the Democrats and Republicans are all people getting paid by the same exact banking system to work together to push an agenda, then you are the definition of asleep. The definition of asleep. It's really funny. I meant to say you are the definition of a sheep, but you are the definition of asleep. If you literally do not understand the basic history of how all the white individuals, all the right individuals who are making up the US government are working together to push the agenda of stealing indigenous land and never apologizing for it. And then enslaving us in our own home because their religion says that we are black. The religion that white people brought into our land has taught us that we are all black. So as black people, we all black our freedom, we black our culture, we black our history, we black our family, we black everything that these racist religions are stealing from us, because these racist religions that say we're anti-Semantic needed to run away from their old world and steal our new world so that they could feel better about their big J. And that's objectively in Abraham's covenant, which we'll check out. But let's just see how white society is crucifying Kanye. Because what's going on here is Kanye acts out a lot, right? Kanye acts out a lot. Kanye's career started with him saying that the government did a terrorist attack on its own people so that they could create the circumstance to go invade other lands like they've been doing. So he's been, quote unquote, woke. He's been aware of how the system functions. And what we're seeing right now is Kanye being fed up with doing all the sacrifices, doing all the fucked up shit behind closed doors. He's fed up doing everything that the banking system demands of him. He's fed up doing everything that these religions make him do. Because the banks that give all these celebrities money are owned by the racist religions that use money to steal all of our land. All of the resources from Native Americans have been stolen by the religions that use money to colonize our creations. Objectively, the details of this history are infinitely vast, but that's why they want to erase the history, and they don't want people to recognize the fact that their religions are inherently racist. So because their religion is inherently racist, they have to go really hard on saying that you're actually racist against their religion for not supporting how they want to rape you. Because objectively, the moment someone says that you did not create yourself and you were created by their God, that's a rapist. I promise, that's a rapist. That's objectively a rapist. Because a rapist is going to tell you who you are, and then they're going to project their ideas into you. And what you're going to do is be raped by someone who's teaching you who they are. And you're going to learn that you're not the rapist. So that's what all indigenous peoples have been through. All of the indigenous peoples in North, South, and Central America, we've been raped by these religions that are telling us that their God created us as black people to be slaves on their matrix forever, objectively. And they've been raping us and making money off of it while teaching us that we're the problem. They've been doing it for centuries upon centuries. And the only reason we're in year 2022 is because this is the agenda for the new world. And the new world is literally, again, these racist religions stealing all the land in North, South, and Central America so that their banking system can matter. Literally, money didn't matter until they used money to steal all of our actual matter. Matter is trees. Matter is flesh. Matter is muscles. My mind goes over matter. So if I, as an indigenous man, have all the matter I could ever want, the moment a European comes over into my land and is like, wow, we want what you have. Here's some numbers. We have millions of these numbers, but you can have 100 of these numbers and then we'll just take all of your matter. That's colonialism. I literally cannot care about their money if I have all the matter that makes their money matter. So all people can do if they have money that they want to matter in my land is make a treaty with me and make some kind of legal agreement that the moment I turn my back, they backstab me, they kill me, they rape me, they steal everything from me, they consume my family, and then they make us write another treaty saying they won't do that again. And then they do that 370 plus times to create just the United States alone. We're not even talking about Canada. We're not talking about Mexico. We're not talking about all the land in South America. The United States alone was created by these same exact religions, erasing us by lying to us every single step of the way. They constantly make us agree to terms that they don't plan on upholding. So think about that in the modern age when you're agreeing to the terms on these apps, right? You're agreeing to Google, you're agreeing to Facebook, you're agreeing to Instagram's terms and conditions, but they don't follow their own terms and conditions. I've literally just gotten like 3 different news articles all about how Facebook, Google, and Apple have violated their terms and conditions. Guess what their penalty is? Money. Do you see that? Like everything that I just shared, do you see how this is the manufacturing warfare, manufacturing genocide, and manufacturing health problems, and manufacturing the ability to do anything they want because they have money? So now money is the law. Objectively, money is the law. So everyone agrees that the indigenous peoples were wrong because they weren't using money to own this land. They were using their minds. And now because Masons use money to manipulate our minds, now money is God. All of our minds need to uphold the idea of money. So now Masons can keep manipulating us while teaching us that we're the problem. Masons can keep enslaving us while saying that they're the victims. And now we, as the actual victims of their banking system, are supposed to let them teach us that they're worse victims of all the actions that they're profiting off of. Because this is the religion that's actively profiting off of enslaving everyone who's forced to identify as black because of their racist religion. But then at the same time, this religion is so racist, they're teaching us that we're racist as they erase us. And I have no better words to say that. It's so funny that race and erase are the same word because it's really about making us run in place. And by running in place, we're never going to progress past this environment, past this circumstance. So everyone who identifies as a race, they're just taught to fight other people who identify as some other race, but then all these people are just running in place because their mind can never expand past their current circumstances. So this is the witchcraft of their religion. These religions are meant to trap us in the matrix. So the moment you identify as a color for your race, you're trapped in a matrix where Masons are weaponizing Hermeticism against you. So if you want to learn what these colors actually mean, check out my series, Colorful Consciousness. All right, because that's where you're going to learn that all humans are all colors. The idea of being a human is that you're experiencing a rainbow. So this is why the LGBTQ community, they use rainbow to describe gay, because really it's about a spectrum of sexuality. That's what it means to be human. So again, this is all basic Hermeticism. It's just that these racist religions have stolen everything from Mercury and they've weaponized it to make money, manipulating the world. It's really sad. I wish they weren't doing this, but that's why I had to do this series and do these videos. because this is part of how I can be responsible for my power, right? Spider-Man shit. So let's make these connections. Because after all that, right? So that's the actual history of the Americas. This is how these racist religions use a banking system to steal our land while teaching us that we're the problem. And now they can enslave us in our own homes and tell us that they're the victims, and that's why they deserve to keep victimizing us, and we need to stay silent about it. That's what Kanye's going through. But the whole point is that these racist religions are erasing indigenous peoples by using money to enslave us, and then using money to manipulate our minds so that they can build a system teaching us that we're the problem. It's just like, it's insane. It's so evil. It's so fucked up how white supremacists make money off of slavery and continue to make money off of slavery. All because it's their religion, because they believe that the one true God gave them permission to lie and manipulate everyone outside of their covenant. So this is where Kanye's correct, by the way. Kanye makes a statement that they're putting him on blast for, but it's completely true, and we'll get there. So right now, this is an article, Financial Times. We're just going to check it out, and then we're going to check out what Kanye actually said. Because right now, I just want to read this article where it's some financial person reacting to Kanye's actions. And the whole point is we need to erase Kanye. So the whole point is, in this racist religion, anyone who speaks out against the religion that's erasing them needs to be erased. And then this is why white culture, they support cannibalism, they support slavery, they support genocide, they support all the horrible things that the banking system had to do to Native Americans to steal our land, objectively. And this is why they support it, because they're just racist. And white people don't see how racist they are. That's why they feel like slavery is okay. And that's why they feel like stealing land from people who look different than them is okay. Because they can't even see how racist they are, even though they know that everything they're doing is to spread white supremacy, whitewash indigenous cultures, and thus erase the individuality of everyone that they're cannibalizing, everyone that they're stealing land from. So let's see here. It's not enough for Twitter to lock the rapper Kanye West out of his accounts following his anti-Semantic tweet that he was going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. West's business partners across the fashion and entertainment industries also need to speak out and take action. Apple and Spotify, which host West's music, whoever organizes West's tours, and Adidas, which collaborates with West on his fashion line, should all stop working with him. The parent company of Parler, the Twitter competitor, should refuse to sell to West. So right now, this is someone saying Kanye West needs to be completely blackballed. That's their term, blackball, when you describe cutting someone out of a system entirely. So again, this is witchcraft, by the way. Everyone who has been forced to identify as black has been forced to be assimilated into a system that wants to cut us out. That's why the English language describes black as lack. And blackball is to cut someone out of something. So all indigenous peoples that have been forced to identify as black by this racist religion are fundamentally being blackballed out of their own land. We're all being blackballed out of our own homes. We're all supposed to be black in our own land, in our own continents, in our own countries, because racist religions say that the one true God gave them permission to erase us, objectively. And the whole point is that these racist religions are saying that being racist to their religion is worse than them erasing everything that they're stealing from indigenous peoples. So if you don't agree that we're all controlled by one God that you've never met, now you're anti-Semantic. But the people who believe that you were created by a God that gave them permission to circumcise men against his consent and gave them permission to use money to manipulate us, they're not racist. They're good people. These are good people. The people who are erasing us are good people. I've been taught as a Native American, I'm a savage. Well, one, I was taught that I wasn't here by these racist religions. But then at some point, these racist religions said, okay, my ancestors were here, but they were savages that needed to be tamed by these religions. So, silence is dangerous. It allows forms of hatred and racism, including anti-Semitism, anti-Semanticism, anti-Semitism, anti-Manism, Fanichism, Fanabism, Penitism. I got it. It's just some jumble words for the algorithm. I'm sitting up on a mountain. I'm drinking Kool-Aid. I really like to hang out with my friends. I really like to smoke the good trees, and we're just going to play games forever and ever. All right. So anyway, silence is dangerous, and silence is dangerous. That's why I'm doing these videos. Okay. So literally, as an indigenous man, as Quetzalcoatl, I was called here to communicate my perspective because no one else can see life from the perspective of Mercury, objectively. And this is true for you. So any racist religion who says that they created you is, again, racist because they are erasing your individual connection to your space. So from here, all that religion's going to do is want to make money manipulating you because they don't care about you making money to manipulate yourself. That's why I, as an indigenous man, was forced to go to school and speak English and learn all this white supremacist lie. All these white supremacist lies that everyone on the internet likes to be like, school is a sham, school's a lie. Well, they still took 18 years of my life. Are they going to compensate us for lying to us? No. Just like, are they going to give us reparations? Are they going to apologize for stealing our land and making money off of slavery? No, because these religions aren't sorry. They're objectively not sorry. That's why they're not going to stop. And then these racist religions say I need to support them enslaving me because they're going to use English to teach me that I'm not choosing to be here and that their one true jealous God gave Abraham permission to manipulate me and circumcise me against my consent. And this is a big point, by the way. If you're circumcised, you are physically Jewish. Objectively, if you're circumcised, you are in a Jewish culture that believes in Abraham's covenant. Objectively. Like, they shouldn't be cutting me down for saying this. They shouldn't be silencing me for saying this. This is history. They're the ones who cut off our foreskins. If you're a man and you don't have your foreskin, you were hit by the penis police. Objectively, the penis police are here to police your penis. So that's why the medical system makes money cutting off our foreskins when there's actually no scientific proof that it's healthy. In fact, it's unhealthy. God told me it's not healthy. God told me we're all supposed to have our foreskins because that's protecting the actual sensitive gland of the penis. So in this racist religion that tries to call us anti-Semantic is literally making money cutting off our flesh against our consent and saying that we can't talk about it. I would really hope that everyone who watches this video can think about that just a little more. I would really hope that everyone who sees what Kanye's been going through at the hands of the B-Illuminati, the B-Illuminati, because the whole point of a bill, all right, when we're given bills, the bank gives us bills because the bank wants to be the ankh that makes us ill. So the more illnesses we have, the more money the bank gets. And now the bank can be the keys to life. And whoever has authority in the bank can do whatever they want to on the legal system. They can get away with all the murder. I mean, all of America, again, every single country in North, South, and Central America was created by white people getting away with the murder of indigenous peoples that we're now supposed to call Black people. And now all of us as indigenous peoples, because white people have gone away with murder throughout North, South, and Central America, now we're all supposed to Black our freedom and we're supposed to Black our culture. This is what Kanye's going through. And this is what people of color have been going through at the hands of the banking system in general. So this is hilarious, by the way. Because look at this. It allows forms of hatred and racism, including anti-Semitism, to spread, anti-Semiticism to spread and become normalized. It coarsens and degrades our society and country. So they're saying it coarsens and degrades our society and country because, again, this country is fundamentally racist. So they're scared of any actions that would hold racists accountable for the power that they have. So notice how this religion claims that God gave them the power to do whatever they want to us. But at the same time, they're not responsible for it because we're all one God. So because we're all one God, now the people who are raping us don't have to take responsibility for how they make money stealing our land. They just say that their sins are forgiven because we're some other God, and their other God gave them permission to do this to us. So now they're going to use their power to cut him out of his accounts while saying that they're powerless. So just like they're exposing themselves, shout out Kanye. I'm doing this video because Kanye has publicly done like a sacrifice thing where he's exposing how much power the racist religions that he's calling out have. This wasn't just one tweet. Shortly before his ugly return to Twitter, West was locked out of his Instagram account for an anti-Semantic post. Now Vice has obtained unaired footage from West's interview with Tucker Carlson on Fox of West, making bigoted statements about Jewish people. Again, the people who stole all the land from North, South, and Central Americans don't want us to talk about how they did it. That's why I keep getting cut down in my accounts. And they're policing me, even though I'm just talking about basic history. I'm talking about the basic history of how America was created. They don't want you to know that. They want you to believe that the racist religions who are erasing indigenous peoples literally discovered this land and no one was here. Quetzalcoatl wasn't here. There's no such thing as Mesoamerica. It's all just the Jews. It's all the Christians being ordained by the one true God to take over the new world. Objectively, objective history. We know that hatred is on the rise, is surfacing in troubling ways from public figures of all kinds. Again, hatred is on the rise. The only way that America exists is because the racist religions that took all of this land from my family, from my ancestors, from Quetzalcoatl, from Atlantean individuals. The only way America exists is because these racist, hateful religions actively lie to us so that they can backstab us. They constantly promise us things that they don't actually mean. They make treaties with us that they don't actually mean. They make us agree to terms and conditions that they always break. But it always relies on us trusting them. But they don't trust themselves. So that's why this is the same exact system that stole all of our land, enslaved us in our own homes, and they're still saying that we're racist. They're still saying we're the problem. Somehow black people are the problem. Somehow black people use guns to spread gun violence when America was fundamentally created by white people manufacturing guns to steal land from the indigenous individuals that they've labeled black. But they're going to say that we're causing gun violence. I hate being here. This is how I know I'm in hell. Like, this is the worst hell ever. I mean, of course, it can always get worse, right? But really, this is the worst hell for indigenous peoples. Being raped in our own land by religions who say that we're a problem that they need to solve. And now all white culture agrees with this. So sad. West is not just any person. He's a pop culture icon with millions of fans around the world. Among them are young people whose views are still being formed. So again, they don't want anyone to know the truth. They don't want you to know the objective truth of how America was created. Or else you would know what Kanye West is saying. And you would know where the banking system came from. And you would know why the banking system brings bills to the indigenous peoples that they're cutting out of their own land. They bring sickness to us. They bring ills. The Illuminati brings illness to all people. And the Illuminati are the most ill because they're willing to do the sickest things to pay their bills. And it's right here in the language. This English language glorifies this behavior. That's why skaters would be like, that's sick, bro. That's ill. Literally, that's sick. That's ill. Objectively, like, this is the jargon for Englishmen. Right? That's also why they say, hey, we're going to make a killing. That's them saying we're going to make a lot of money. Every single time this Jewish religion and the Masonic banking system has used English to say, we're going to make a killing. That's them being super hyped up about raping and murdering all the indigenous cultures that they're using their religions to erase, objectively. And that's why now here we are in English as the culture is being erased, as the black people, using the jargon of white people to express our individuality because they've been raping us and getting away with murder and making money, building their entire system off of that. Their culture is to cannibalize us while teaching us that we're the problem. And now we talk like them. And now we do what they do. And now they get to feel like because they assimilated us into a culture where they can control us, now they have power because they can alienate us inside of our own land. When we're the ones that welcomed him here. All the Jewish Masonic white men who invaded Americas, we welcomed them with open arms. We're like, welcome to the land of the free. Quetzalcoatl, Metatron set this up so everyone can be an infinite individual. And then they're going to come in like, okay, well, we're going to rape all of you to make money because we feel like we're free to do what we want. Our God gave us the freedom to hurt you and lie about it. And we're going to be the good people. We're going to be the Masons. And now they just stole everything from Zarathustra because they're like, all right, we're going to weaponize astrology to take over the world so we can be seen as the son of May. So now we can be seen as Ahura Mazda. Now we're going to control the entire planet and create our own metaverse where we can trap everyone's consciousness in some Black Mirror stuff. And this is like all their religion. This is all of them having a plan on how to make the most amount of money off of your mind, off of my mind. So that's why we're here talking into phones now after they've gone so hard on even being able to create these phones only because they stole resources from people that they raped with their religions. And then these rapist religions are going to constantly tell us that they're bigger victims of the system that they're using to make money off of genocide than we are. And that's why we need to keep supporting being poor and them being rich. So now these racist religions, they can keep using their money to erase indigenous cultures. But I, as an indigenous culture, I'm supposed to support them because I'm Black. And they're right. They're white. So because they're always right, they're always white, I'm supposed to always lack. I'm supposed to always be the whack, be the lack. And now I support their rightness. And now white people can eat everything from me. They can steal everything from me, but I can't steal anything from them. I can't take anything from them. I can't get anything from them, but they can get everything from me. And that's objectively the entire history of North, South, and Central America. White people did not bring any land over here. They literally used their made up system of money to steal land so they can make money off of slavery. And that's what we're in right now. And Kanye West is simply talking about how he's been a slave to these racist religions, but they're going to erase him because they don't want anyone talking about how they do business. Like this is how they do business, but they don't want people talking about it because they view you as a business. They view you as a sheep that they're using to build their business. So that's why the medical industry, they weaponize the caduceus of Hermes Trismegistus to inject you with shots that are going to cause cancer, but they're not going to teach you what the caduceus actually means or where it came from or how it's a symbol of alchemy, because they simply stole these ideas so that they can make money off of energy that they're invading objectively. This is why it's necessary for all of us to speak out. Hatred and anti-Semitism, Samimism, should have no place in our society. Again, this society is by definition racist. So notice how he said hatred and anti-Semitism. Okay, cool. Anti-Semantics. Just have to say different words. Anti-Semantics should have no place in our society, no matter how much money is at stake. Notice he didn't say racism should have no place because this society is fundamentally racist. America would not exist if these same religions that claim we're anti-Semitic were not raping us to erase us from our own land. All of North, South, and Central America is created by these racist religions raping us, stealing our land, cutting us off from our culture, and then whitewashing our identities so that they can trap us in a matrix that allows them to sell our creations back to us. And this is how they make money. And that's why they don't want us talking about it at all. The moment we start talking about it in an intelligent way, we're going to build a system that doesn't allow them to enslave us. And that's the last thing they want, objectively. This slavery religion, the last thing it wants is to not have slaves, objectively. That's why they go so hard to use their banking system to create slavery in lands that they have to steal from other cultures, while claiming that all of our cultures were created by their culture. And that's why their culture is right. Their culture is white. Their culture is justified in the justice system to make money doing anything they want to us. That's America. I wish it wasn't, but that's what it is. Some of West's behavior has been dismissed over time, citing mental illness, given that he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder after being hospitalized in 2016. However, mental illness is not an excuse for racism, hatred, or anti-semantics. Millions of people affected by mental illness do not perpetuate hateful ideologies. Again, the religion of Judaism is by definition hateful because it's by definition saying that they have the right to be the penis police. They have the right to circumcise baby boys against their consent and make money doing that. That's fundamentally their religion. They're literally the most hateful religion in existence. That's the only way that they've been able to steal all of the Americas from indigenous peoples that were loving to them while teaching us that we're evil, because they're objectively the most evil. And all they're doing is spreading evil. And no matter how loving the people that they eat are, they're always going to say that the people that they're eating are the problem. But it's like, if we're the problem, then why are you eating us? Why are you stealing our land? Why are you stealing our bodies? Well, we need a final solution. This is the religion that objectively used a final solution as a term to describe eradicating us from our homes before they manufactured World War II to use that term against their own religion. It's all about erasing indigenous peoples. So now everyone cares way more about World War II than the actual creation of North, South, and Central America, because America gets to look like heroes after they did all the evil shit possible to even build these nations that allow them to fight in World War II. So it's all about these racist religions fighting themselves, but they bring the fight into our land. And now because we aren't fighting them, we're working with them. They're like, oh, we can enslave them and tell them they're the problem anyway. Christopher Columbus, all these white men that are serving this religious banking system have this mentality, and they still do to this day. The men that Kanye's dealing with are all in that Christopher Columbus mentality of, oh, we can make you our slave because you're nice, and now we can use the KKK to kill your kids with kindness, and we're gonna make money for our Masons. You wanna join the Illuminati? Literally, like this is them. And they don't want us to talk about it because, again, their witchcraft weakens when you know where they're coming from. They rely on people being confused and everyone being lost in English words and not even knowing what these words mean. That's why these religions fundamentally weaponize indigenous spirituality against us. Fundamentally. The whole point is to cause confusion because that's how they can colonize all the cultures they want to cannibalize. They have to cause confusion. Millions of people affected by mental illness do not perpetuate hateful ideologies. Others brush his comments off as just words, but hateful words far too easily become hateful actions. How come you don't want to hold these racist religions responsible for stealing all the land in North, South, and Central America? See, like the same exact religion that says it's hateful to hold them accountable will say that they're not hateful for doing the thing that needs to be held accountable. It's insane. This is so beyond insane. Like the way that white culture demonizes the indigenous peoples that it is enslaving and capitalizing off of. If we're so evil and racist, then why'd you invade our land and steal our resources? And erase our culture and force us to speak your language. If we're racist, how come we're speaking your language and you're not speaking ours? If we were racist, we wouldn't even be able to speak your language because we wouldn't care about connecting with you. The whole point of us being forced to speak English is that these white people are so racist, even once they erase us and assimilate us into their culture, they still want to alienate us because they still want to create racism even when they say that we're all one religious family. And this is Kanye's point, by the way. Kanye's saying that we're all one religious family. We're all basically Jewish based on their religion. And he's correct. But they're still saying that he's wrong. Like, he's objectively correct, but they're still saying that he's hateful and that he's wrong. When he's simply talking about the effects of colonialism. I feel for you, Kanye. I mean, like, we really don't know how much fucked up shit he's had to do behind closed doors to get the success that he has today. But best believe it's a lot of rituals to these people. It's a lot of sacrifices. That's like the best word. He's made so many sacrifices in all aspects of his life so that he can make the money to be seen as a star on this Jewish banking system. So all these celebrities know, every celebrity knows that what I'm saying is true. It's just that each of these celebrities were forced to sign a contract once they started making a certain amount of money that blocks them from talking about what they're doing. It blocks them from talking about these business practices. So all the people in the Illuminati, the B-Illuminati, all these people have signed contracts saying that they're not going to talk about what they're doing or else they can get killed. They can have their tongues taken out. All celebrities go through this. All of them. There's like Nickelodeon, Disney, Cartoon Network, especially Hollywood though, right? Especially Hollywood. This is how they do business. They want you to do sacrifices if you're going to make more money. So again, just let's take this to the religion. When we see how much money pastors make off of selling Jesus as an idea, but Jesus would not be relatable if the government that's selling him did not kill him themselves, now you can see how they feel about all of us. Apply Jesus to you. If you yourself are the child of God, then what does that mean if you're serving a system that says they kill children of God, they drink the blood of children of God, and they eat the flesh of children of God so that they can make money spreading a new world agenda, a new world order? And that's why we're going by year 2022, and that's why all of the Americas was stolen from the indigenous families of Quetzalcoatl. Just like think about the history a little further so that you can actually see where the banking system is coming from. Because all of this warfare, all of this witchcraft, all of this genocidal manipulation relies on people not knowing what space these racist religions are coming from. So now they don't know where the racist religions are trying to take the world. And this is the whole point of predictive programming as a concept. The concept of predictive programming is that whoever is projecting stories into your space, whoever is doing that is predictively programming you to accept what they're trying to introduce into your space. So if someone writes the Bible, right, and someone says, hey, we kill people who fast, worship this religion. Hey, we kill people who talk to God, worship this religion. Then the moment you start to worship that religion, you're subconsciously putting yourself in a vibration where if you start to act out like Jesus, if you start to act like Jesus, the government that made you worship their racist religion can erase you and be justified. The justice system will be justified in sacrificing you, in lynching you from a tree. Again, this is the witchcraft of how white people have made all the Americas. White people have always been justified in lynching every single Indian, every single Negro, every single black person that they want because this is their religion, fundamentally. And then they always find a way to say that they're good people after doing that. Fundamentally. It's their religion. This is hilarious too. In 2006, Mel Gibson made an anti-Semantic rant after being pulled over for driving while drunk in Malibu, California. I immediately called on the entertainment industry to refuse working with Gibson. The entertainment industry is, by the way, ruled by the religions that these celebrities are being anti-Semantic about. Don't think these celebrities aren't being anti-Semantic out of nowhere. Like, this isn't coming out of nowhere. These people are dealing with a lot of fucked up shit behind closed doors that they're not allowed to talk about. So the moment they speak out, it's easy for the system that's manipulating them to then tell the whole population, hey, this celebrity's evil. They broke their contract. That's all this shit is. Like, each time these celebrities speak out against the banking system, they broke their contract. So they need to esoterically get killed in some way. Because if they didn't break like the real deep parts of their contract, they're not just about to get taken off the map. They're just going to have to pay sacrifices behind closed doors so that they can keep appearing like a bright, dazzling celebrity star in the open. But that's hilarious. The person writing this said that they hated on Mel Gibson for saying things, but then, yes, several years later, I recommended him for roles. So this person's saying now they recommended Mel Gibson for roles because Gibson made a public apology and made a commitment to understanding the consequences of his actions. He put in the work. There's no excuse, nor should there be any tolerance for anyone who thinks or expresses any kind of anti-Semantic remark. So again, the same religions that teach us that being anti-Semitic is worse than racism are the ones who are using racism to erase our indigenous individuality. Again, I as an indigenous man wouldn't even be able to speak English if these racist religions did not do all the evil shit possible to steal this land from my ancestors. But now they're using their power to say that it's way worse for me to hold them accountable than for them to be accountable. Objectively, like, they keep using their power to say, we are not responsible for our actions. You are, nigger. You are, slave. You are, Spider-Man. Objectively, this is their religion to say that we're all responsible for holding their system together. We're all responsible to serve their system, but their system doesn't have to serve us. Money has never given anything to an indigenous man. Money has only ever stolen our resources and stolen our material. So now the people who use money to steal from us are telling us that they're bigger victims of their own system than we are. And that's yet again the witchcraft of Jesus objectively being Jewish. So this is why, like, their whole vibration of ewes being sacrificed to the government that they're bringing into land is so strong. Because now people can look at the religion and be like, oh, but see, the true child of God, he was a ewe. He was a JEW. And he got killed by the government that I'm serving. So clearly, that's the worst kind of racism. So now that government can erase all the indigenous cultures that they're raping and be justified because everyone in white supremacist society cares way more about worshiping the sacrifice of someone who is the only child of God, instead of empathizing with how this system has to cannibalize all the children of God that they're stealing land from. But then that's where white culture is going to be like, well, no. These Indians are not children of God. They're savages. They're niggers. They're demons that we need to conquer because the one true God gave us permission to use money to bring order to nature, to bring order into their land. So now we can use money to manipulate their minds and order them to go here. We can order them to go here. We can order families to be split apart. New world order. Welcome to the new world, America. Now us, as the racist religions, are going to use money to order you to be a slave. Oh, Quetzalcoatl made this land of the free. Well, now it's land of the slave. We're going to use money to order you to serve this system that doesn't serve you. And we're going to do this for as long as we possibly can. This is what it looks like. Objectively. So this is like the highest form of racism possible, actually, because these people, again, fundamentally believe that none of us are choosing to exist. They fundamentally believe that their God gave them permission to use money to own us because we were all created by their God. So now because they have the higher idea of what an order is, because they're closer to God than all the people that their banking system conquers, that's why they can label us black and then teach us that us as indigenous African American Asians, not African American, I mean like indigenous to Africa, indigenous to America, indigenous to Asia, all of us are supposed to be like our indigenous cultures, our individual creativity, because we were all created by the one jealous God, Yahweh, Jehovah. This is what they believe, and this is why slavery has not only been profitable for so long, but again, why these words even matter. Like, this is why I can say these words like this. The only reason order matters is because the people who made up money want to use money to order you and order me and eat you and eat me, right? Think of going to a restaurant. When you order something, you're using money to eat something, but also you get to command the person to do whatever you want them to do. So the whole point of ordering something is to command and demand someone to do whatever you want them to do. And that's all about manipulation. So the only reason I was able to be ordered to go to school my entire life is because these religions use money to steal land from my ancestors and then lie about it. Objectively. I agree. It was true then, it's true now. We are all capable of learning and evolving. If Wes would like to be educated about the history and consequences of anti-Semantic and the conspiracy theories he's parroting, if he wants to reach out to religious leaders, including rabbis, Muslim leaders, and Christian leaders, I'd be happy to help. Again, rabbis fundamentally believe in circumcising baby boys against our consent. And if Kanye West is circumcised, which he probably is, then he's Jewish. So again, anyone who's circumcised can't be anti-Semantic. It's physically impossible. It's physically impossible. If you are a man who's been circumcised, you are the victim of Semitism. You can't be anti-Semantic. Your body is objectively the victim of a racist religion that is teaching you that you don't have consent, that you are part of their plan, and you don't have any individuality. That's the only way these racist religions have justified stealing all the land from indigenous peoples, lying about it, and then saying that we're wrong, that we're the problem that they need to solve with their banks, with their injections, with this technology. They're using this technology to cut us out of our own land. All because this is their new world order. Their new world order is to steal everything from us while telling us that we're the problem. And that's why these racist religions can rape us, erase us, and then make money teaching us that we're supposed to be like everything that they are stealing from us. Objectively. And the fact that these people can't think further about how racist and rapist these religions are is backwards. This is where white society is completely backwards. White people are saying, hey, you need to empathize with the fact that we believe our God created you to serve us. If you think you're an individual, you're evil. That's objectively how white people call us savages and call us niggers or call us demons or call us whatever other slurs they use to erase our individuality. This is objectively how they do it. It's so sad. Those who continue to do business with West are giving his misguided hate an audience. Again, it's so wrong. They don't give a fuck about the history of America. They just care way more about being seen as victims in a land where they had to victimize people to even make money off of anything related to slavery, their religion, the Matrix, everything. We indigenous peoples, we taught this religion how to grow weed. They literally are now imprisoning the same people who taught them how to grow weed for having weed. So we taught them how to grow plants. Their government comes into our land, uses bills and treaties to cut us out of our home so that they can take our plants, take our resources, and now they can grow the plants while saying that we're going to go to prison if we have any plants on us. And then that's the war on drugs. Where now, because they're policing the plants that they're stealing from us, they can put us in prison because they want to make money off of rape. This is, again, their racist religions making money off of rape. And they have done it in so many angles, and they still do it in so many ways. It's so messed up. It's so horrifying. So hopefully these videos help the world, because I'm not in control of individuals outside of myself. And it's so fucked up because it's these racist religions that want to use money to have all the control over all of us. That's why we're all forced to work for money, because these racist religions say that their religion gave them permission to erase our individuality. So now, if you're born underneath this religion, then you're going to be circumcised against your will just so you can be assimilated into a culture that alienates you. That's been my whole experience. That's the Black experience in general. So next episode, we'll look at what Kanye actually said. All right, so we can see what's up with the facts. Because, this is how white people use their emotions to justify genocide, objectively. This is literally what it looks like for white people to use their emotions to support systemic slavery while saying that slaves are the problem that needs to be solved. So, Until next time, this has been Financial Times. Of course, it's Financial Times. Make that money. All right. So again, money is an idea that doesn't matter without the spirituality that the banking system stole from Egypt. So the fact is, math is stolen from Metatron. The bank, you take the B off, it's literally just these white supremacists taking the Ankh and saying, we're going to be the Ankh. We're going to be the bonk. We're the banking system now. This is our religion. These are the people that use money to steal land and then enslave the people that they stole land from inside of their own homes. Like this shit's just beyond bonkers. It's so sad. It's so complex. It's so fucked up. But also, it's not complex when you have the right perspective. Okay? So, hopefully this was helpful for the world. Much love to everybody. All right? Everyone is an infinite individual. So, I, as an indigenous man, I see every space as an infinite individual. The moment a space views me as someone who was created by their religion, that space is racist. And if a bunch of those spaces work together to say, hey, we're going to steal your creations because we believe we created them, that's why we're going to use rape to steal everything from you and teach you that you're the problem. That's literally Europeans using these religions to create the Americas by stealing everything from the indigenous individuals that they had to colonize, objectively. And there's a big reason why they didn't teach me this history growing up. And I had to learn it from my own spirit. I had to learn it from doing investigations on the internet. I kind of learned it in college, but not to the extent that it should be taught, of course. So I'm glad I have my personal relationship with God, because if it was up to this religion, these Jewish people, my relationship with God would be me being a slave to their system, which is what my past 20-something years has already been. So that's why I can talk about this. Peace out. Yeah.